In the quiet town of Maplebrook, Oregon, I thought I'd found peace, a house, a pool, and no drama. But one morning, I stepped outside and discovered my backyard had been taken over by ducks. What started as a harmless invasion turned into a viral sensation, a full-blown HOA war, and a showdown no one saw coming. This is the unbelievable true story of how I fought back with feathers, fans, and a duck named Jerry. My name is Eli Reynolds, and when I moved to Maplebrook, Oregon, I was looking for one thing: peace. I had spent most of my adult life in cities that never slept, among honking horns, endless deadlines, and neighbors who didn't know each other's names. Maplebrook promised the opposite: clean air, quiet streets, and people who smiled without a reason. I bought a modest house on a quiet cul-de-sac, set up a hammock in the backyard, and filled the pool. For once, I thought I could breathe. Then the ducks arrived. It started one morning in early spring. I walked outside, coffee in hand, and froze. There were at least 50 ducks in my backyard, some floating lazily in the pool, others waddling around like they owned the place. One particularly arrogant duck was perched on my lawn chair, completely at ease. I named him Jerry. At first, I laughed. It was absurd. Jerry and his crew weren't afraid of me. If anything, they seemed vaguely annoyed by my presence, like I was the guest. Still, I let them stay. The pool was barely used, and they weren't hurting anyone. There was something oddly peaceful about the soft quacking, the slow ripples on the water. It became a routine. Ducks in the morning, ducks at sunset, and for the first time in a long while, I felt grounded. But peace, I learned, is a fragile thing. Marlene Hopkins, the self-appointed head of our HOA, didn't find the ducks amusing. She showed up unannounced one morning, clipboard in hand, nostrils flaring like she could smell non-compliance from across town. She marched right into my yard without so much as a knock and began yelling about avian contamination and biohazards. I tried to explain that they were just ducks, that they came on their own. She called 911. Yes, over ducks. When the officer arrived, he took one look at Jerry, paddling around the deep end with a duckling in tow, and laughed. "This you're doing?" he asked. "Nope, just hosting," I said. He told Marlene that unless the ducks were attacking someone or damaging property, there was nothing illegal about their presence. Marlene turned red, then white, then stormed off without another word. I figured that was the end of it. It wasn't. That afternoon, I received an official HOA notice citing me for harboring unauthorized wildlife and threatening me with a $50 fine per duck per day. Do the math. That was over $2,000 daily. I stared at the letter, stunned. This wasn't about ducks. This was about power, control. Marlene wasn't trying to protect the neighborhood. She was trying to make a point. I had a choice: pay the fine, kick the ducks out, and keep the peace, or push back. I pushed. That night, I posted a video on TikTok, a slow pan of the ducks lounging in the pool, set to smooth jazz. I captioned it, "Luxury Pool Resort for Ducks. No HOA membership required." I didn't think much of it. By morning, the video had over 2 million views. Jerry became a celebrity overnight. People started showing up to take pictures. Kids wore duck hats. Someone made a parody account called @JerryTheDuckPrez. The story went viral. News outlets reached out. I even got a call from a local nature documentary crew. Marlene lost it. She tried banning ducks in the HOA rulebook, but half the board couldn't stop laughing long enough to vote. Someone taped a fake wanted poster of Jerry to the HOA clubhouse. Another neighbor put a giant inflatable duck on their lawn. The neighborhood had chosen a side, but the absurdity only grew. Marlene escalated. She sent legal threats. claimed I was running an unlicensed wildlife sanctuary, and even accused me of emotional harassment via foul. The final straw came when she flew a drone over my yard to document the infestation. It crashed into her own roof. The police confiscated the controller. She tried to flee the scene. It was not graceful. At this point, I could have stopped. The HOA fines were suspended. Public opinion was on my side. But something in me felt unfinished. This wasn't just about me. It was about everyone who had ever been silenced by someone louder. So I planned one final act. I called it Quackfest. I partnered with local businesses, invited the community, and organized a duck-themed parade down Maplebrook Lane. We had duck floats, duck-themed food trucks, a brass band playing disco versions of duck calls, and a dunk tank manned by volunteers in duck costumes. Families showed up in droves. Someone brought a trained parrot wearing a duck costume. The whole town felt electric. Jerry rode the main float, wearing tiny aviator sunglasses. The crowd went wild. Marlene tried again. She filed for an emergency injunction, but the court dismissed it. There is no law against celebrating waterfowl, the judge ruled, almost smiling. That night, I received an unexpected letter from the HOA board. Not another fine, but a proposal. They wanted to dedicate a portion of my backyard as an official wildlife observation sanctuary, fully funded by the HOA budget. It included a small pond, signage about native birds, and yes, a miniature lifeguard tower for Jerry. Marlene moved out 2 months later. Her listing didn't mention the duck incident, but everyone knew. Her house sold below asking price. And Jerry, he's still here, still smug. Every morning, he waddles out of the water, surveys his kingdom, and sits on the same lawn chair like nothing ever changed. Maybe he's right. I still sit by the pool sometimes, watching the ducks glide across the surface like little boats. There's something poetic in the way it all unfolded. I came here looking for peace, thinking I'd find it in quiet and control, but peace, I've learned, sometimes comes with feathers, and sometimes the best way to keep it is to let it quack back. The geese started circling last week. I saw Jerry look up, one eye squinting. He didn't move. Season 2 might be coming, and this time, I'm ready.